So I see everyone has a Google Chromebook. You're on Google. Okay. Can you get on? You can get on Google though.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Okay, good. You need to sign in to Classroom.
I already did.
You already did it. Anybody else need some help signing in to Google Classroom? You've never done. Okay, let's talk about it then. This person who's in this room on a regular basis does not have the little button right up here like you'll have on your Google Chromebooks, okay? And it says Hammond.K12 is a bookmark. Bookmarks, yes. So you want to hit that bookmark. I can't show you up here. And you're going to see Google Drive and Google Classroom. Is there anyone who doesn't see that right now? There you go. Okay. This is a wonderful tool. It's automatically installed in your Chromebook. If it's not on your, it'd be great on your desktop computer. Alicia Moore walked me through it on the telephone one day because I wanted that there instead of going to google.com and then clicking over here and clicking on that. All you have to do is click that button and boom, there's your drive. Click that button and boom, you're on Google Classroom. That's very quick. You're going to find a lot of apps on there. Thank you.
Is that on all the ones that kids have on the Chromebooks?
Yes, all the Chromebooks have it. So it's really nice to get this set up. Okay, show of hands real quick who has never signed on to Classroom again? Okay. How many of you have signed on but have forgotten how to do this? Okay, just need to know where my audience is. Okay, so because, oh, I did have it up here, that's right. So now that you're into Google Classroom, is there anyone not in yet? Okay, I'll wait just a few seconds. While we're waiting for them, I want to tell you what exactly we're going to do here today. First, I'm going to show you some things that I've done in the classroom, so this is your time to take notes. I don't want you to get bored, but I do want you to see some things that you can use in your classroom with teaching either in elementary school, middle school, or high school. After that, you're going to experience some assignments that I've created just for today as a student, so that you can see what your students are going to see or work with on Google Classroom. And then I'm going to give you some time where you're going to create your own document, your own classroom, and you're going to upload assignments and announcements, just a couple. And it'll be a sample Google Classroom, so when you go home over the summer and forget everything until August, you'll be able to go back in there and maybe do a few things, before school starts to just, keep you on the go. Okay, are we ready? Okay, so on this plus sign up by your name, you're going to see either join class or create class. You're going to join a class right now. And the class that you're joining is my Chromebooks Now What? As the teacher, I've already created this classroom, which you're going to do at the end. But do you need there's some seats over here if you want to sit down over here.
No, okay.
Oh, okay. Or sit in the front. It's like church. Everyone's sitting in the back row. Okay. So you're joining a classroom, and you're telling your students, hey, look up here, everybody. You're joining a classroom today, and that's the code that you have to put in to join my classroom. Now, if you can't see it, I'll come over here and I'll read it out to you. It's number 9, lowercase v, V as in violin, Z as in zebra, 69, J as in Joey, U as in unicorn. I don't know if that's the proper Army usage for those letters. So it's 9VZ69JU. And you should be in that classroom now. And we're going to pause after that. I'm going to go on to something else and we'll come back to this. Just this way we have it done and over with. Anybody not in yet? Come on, Chris.
I'm there.
You're there. Okay. Anybody else need some time? Good. Okay. So I'm just going to go back and we're going to leave it there for a minute. Well, actually, you could read the objective for the classroom. I think you know what you're here to learn today. You've registered for it. You know what's going on. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you. These are some of the classrooms that I have used in my room. Now, I'm a little OCD as an outlet teacher, and I separate everything. So I have my students join I have a social studies class, a science class, a math class. That's so when students turn in assignments to me, I've got them separated. Nothing bothers me more to see, oh, there's an English assignment, oh, there's a math assignment. I can go into that actual class and see what's there. If you're an LED teacher, I strongly suggest this. If you're departmentalized, you can do one whole class. Maybe you could create that class by sections. It's been a long time since I was in high school, so I forget what they call those things with different classes. They call them sections, right? No? Any secondary teachers here? Periods, okay, yes. Okay, so then at the top, before I scroll down, you noticed I made a classroom for my girls on the run team. This was really awesome. The girls could go in there, they could participate in online discussions. We said, hey, what do we want to wear this year? And girls put things in there. I uploaded videos for Girls on the Run to get them inspired, sorry. Inspired, that's not a good thing by the end of it. I'm Done Now What is a classroom I've created that when my students are done, maybe on the board I have, you're doing this in science, this in social studies, you get done with it, you go to the I'm Done Now What page. So at the end of the year, one of the first things they had to do was create a letter to next year's students coming into the 4th grade. I can see how many did it or how many didn't do it. There's a little issue with turning things in on Google Classroom. Sometimes they get lost, and the reason why they get lost is because students are signing on and not signing off different computers or Chromebooks. So you have to stress that. You need to shut down and log off when you're done with turning something in off that device, whether it's a Chromebook or your computer at home, okay? Or the classroom computers, because I notice they don't turn in. Sometimes I'll see them, or I'll say, hey, go back in there and turn that back in. So that's a little side note. We were getting ready to go to Camp Tecumseh. I uploaded some videos to let them know what they were going to see there. Kahoot, how many of you have used Kahoot? Awesome, I'll be showing a little clip on Kahoot. What I do is, if I know for a fact, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time looking for Kahoots when they're, getting their Chromebooks. I get that ready, and I'll upload and say, hey, we're going to get on here, and I hit it, and I'm ready to go. And they can hit it, and they're ready to put their password in. So it happens a little faster for you. Sometimes I just say, hey, check this out. We were working on animal and plant classification, so I had them check out Britannica off the website. I uploaded that link, which I'm going to show you to do by the end of this class. Oh, the school was doing jump rope for heart. Math. There's some great videos on YouTube and on Khan Academy. I found a lot of good things for everyday math. I'm having a little bit of an issue uploading videos from the Everyday Math website. So I just hit Khan Academy and YouTube. I've even found partial quotients on there and how to do that. I found a partial quotient game online. So I'm going to show you how to upload all these links, and then I do my exit slip sometimes, not every day, on Google Classroom. As a matter of fact, this is one of my favorites right here. This was a video I found on the partial quotients. This was a game called the Quotient Cafe, and they kept playing that game until they felt more comfortable, and then they did an exit slip on partial quotients. They turned that in, and let's go to another classroom. No matter what I'm working on, I usually try and find a video for those learners that learn differently. Google Classroom is a wonderful way to differentiate for those students who just can't do that paper pencil all the time. A lot of ADHD students happen to always be in my room. I don't know why, but I always get the ADHD like half the classroom, and I put them on here, and oh, I got it. So it's a wonderful way to differentiate. We did a whole poetry unit in April. They watched videos, and they uploaded their poems to me on Google Classroom, so I graded them on there. I'll be showing you how to do that.
What grade do you teach?
4th grade. Do you teach 4th grade too?
I teach 5th.
5th. Here's my social studies classroom. We got a new adoption in social studies in elementary school this year. And we were having a real hard time saying, what are we grading? So Google Classroom was very helpful to us. A lot of our vocab we did through Google Classroom. Every now and then we put a test on there. But here's what I want you to know. You don't do everything in Google Classroom. There's something to be said about getting that paper and short answer responses and essay questions being written out. You're going to, by the end of this lesson, you're going to learn how to do a Google form for these vocab words and things like that. But I'm not saying to do everything on here, okay? You know that's not going to work, right? you have to do something else too.
So, do you have access to your Chrome card every day?
I don't. We have one that we share with the 4th and 5th grade, 6 classrooms. And we know what day we sign up for that day, and we prepare, so I know what lesson. I don't always do it. Some days you're not taking an exit slip or assessment on Google Chrome, but some days you are. So they get a nice mixture of all of it. So there's some projects we've done. We've done science projects and social studies projects using Google Docs, Google Slides, all kinds of things. So I have a reading class, a science class, and a word study class. I'm going to go into science. I did create a test on science. I'm going to show you how to grade that test as well so that you don't have to grade it, but Flubaroo will do it for you. How many of you are familiar with Flubaroo? Okay, some of you are doing okay. I'm going to click on one of these, and then the next step after I show you this is we're going to go on to our actual classroom. So this was a live form I created. It's just a document with a table in it. And what happens is I said, hey, this whole chapter we just read in 4th grade science was all about animal adaptations. Go on there, fill in your student name, find an animal, find an adaptation. You're going to take part in a Google Doc today that's live, and you're going to see how it can, how it happens. So if your cursor comes up, and they're all typing at the same time. What you'll need to teach them is, hey, if there's a colored cursor in your box, go to another box. Otherwise, you type over each other. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I leave that up usually, and I'll scroll down while it's happening. And I'll say, hey, everybody did the duck. Let's stop doing the duck. Find a different animal. Who's going to find a different animal? So this is a live form that's happening, and we're talking about it in the classroom while they're typing in. And let's see. Word study. I'm going to show you this as well. Here's why. Part of word study is understanding what that word means in a sentence. So that word work needs to be done in a sense that not just looking up the definitions of these words. How do you use that word? How do I know you know what that word means? Well, put that word into a sentence. So I have created on Google Docs a Google document. And every week, with every unit, I could just put it up there and say, hey, type your sentences in there. Now my students wrote them out first. I graded that, and then they put them on the document when we got Google Chrome on our Google Chrome day, our Chromebook day. So they were writing them out, they were typing them. So I gave one grade in word work for understanding their meaning, and I gave another grade for writing and punctuation and subject verb agreement and end marks. So I just wanted to show you that as well. Okay. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive and show you some documents and how we do this. How many of you are not familiar with creating Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, okay? How many of you are taking that workshop here today? Great. It's not as hard as you think. What the hardest part about it is that it doesn't do the same thing that Microsoft Word does. Okay, and once you can get around that and learn all the things that, like, you know, everyone knows the 2-finger scroll on Chromebooks and things like that. Who doesn't know that?
I learned it the hard way.
You learned it I did too. On your, can I hold up your, on here, you do 2 fingers down, it scrolls up and down your screen.
Yeah, 7-year-old taught me that.
Yeah, my son taught me. They've been using Chromebooks at his school, and so, yeah. So anyway, so you'll be doing some Google documents today, a Google form, and it's going to be easy, okay? First you're going to experience, and then we'll put it on. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. We're going to be fine, okay? So let's go back to our classroom. And I prepared this classroom ahead of time at home because I have the Chromebook at home, and I can do all this stuff at home, and it's done, okay? Don't freak out on me, okay? One way that I prepare for my classroom, I guess I shouldn't have gone back yet. So these are my lesson plans. Oh, that's probably the day we didn't have school on Monday. Just bring this up like this. And I'm willing to share my template with you if you want it, okay? So I was doing everything on Microsoft Word. I was doing everything on Microsoft Publisher. And I was trying to upload it to my my Google Docs, or Google whatever, Drive, and it was a bear because they didn't work. So I created a template, and actually my colleagues and I created this, and we've been tweaking it over the years, and this year we got it right. So now we can work on this at home, and you can too. So if I know that I've already planned, hey, I'm doing linking verbs. Oh, well, I'm going to go on YouTube, and I'm going to look for a video for linking verbs, and I could embed that YouTube video right here. So when I go to do this on Chromebooks, on the Google Classroom, oop, I got it on there. Okay. So I strongly suggest if you haven't created a template yet for your plans, it's a great idea to do it. And it's basically just a table and filling in your information so you can work on it at home. And I'd be more than happy to share that with you or show you it, okay? All right, so let's go back to Chromebooks Now Web Classroom. Now, if you had earbuds or headphones, which I put on my list every year for kids for their supplies list so they have their own. If you haven't done that yet, get that done, okay? Because a lot of things you're doing they have to listen to, correct? And we don't need to have, 30 like that. So, this is an introduction that you know already, some of you. Oh, where's my sound? She said my sound was on. Bummer.
It goes off if you don't use it for a while.
I got hit on top. So, how many of you received Chromebooks in your building? Okay. So you have the carts. Ours may not look like that. So I'm showing you this because I had no idea what a Chromebook did when I first received one. I didn't know that the minute you open it up, boom, you're on the internet. I assume most of you are already at this point, yes? Good. Great way to teach kids how to search for information. Here's the two-finger click. Yeah, this is a good one to know. And I think you know how to properly put away your Chromebook, right? Okay. So, I am going to upload at this point an assignment, and you're going to complete the assignment. Don't worry, it's easy. I want you to see what your students are going to see, okay? And then when we're done with those assignments, uploading those assignments onto this page, this classroom, then I'm going to give you the opportunity to make a couple of your own. My presentation will end early as by design so that you can play with this and I can walk around. And if anybody else you seem to know what you're doing so that you can help others as well. This is one of those things that if you don't do it all the time, you will forget it. So we're going to do a few things right now. And I'm going to show you how to create an assignment. So the first thing we did, you read the workshop objective. I did that by clicking on this plus down here at the bottom right-hand screen. So this is my classroom. You probably don't have that, correct?
Right.
Right, because this is mine. So I just created an announcement. And I said, hey, this is what's going on, okay? Now, you can go in and add a class comment if you want to, or you could tell your students you can't do that. So let me tell you a story, especially since Yvette's in the room. She's our instructional coach at Jefferson. And it was side-by-side day, and we had parents in there, and I didn't shut this off. And well, my kids started making all kinds of comments, and a couple of them were not really good comments. So this is something that we were talking about in my 4th grade collaboration, saying, hey, we need to teach these kids what's an appropriate comment to leave on here. Do you need to leave a comment, first of all? I mean, we don't need 30 kids saying, hi, hi, hey, hi. So this is something we need to talk about maybe in those first 20 days. So students can post a comment because you're adults. I'm allowing you to post a comment if you'd like to. So if you notice, I can go between stream, what's in my classroom, and this is students in my classroom. Look at all of you. Yay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. There's not that many people here. Okay, so right now I'm going to create an assignment with you. So I click on this, and by the way, Google does a wonderful job of walking you through this and hovering over things saying, oh yes, this is what I want. And you can delete everything that you make a mistake on, okay? So let's create assignments. These are the buttons you really need to pay attention to when creating an assignment. Now I've already created assignment on my Google documents. So this Google Drive symbol is going to take me right to my Google Drive. And you're going to do this eventually, don't worry. You're going to do great. I want to go, not there. Not that my stuff would come right up, but I'm going to take our computer. You're going to take a Google Classroom quiz. So the title is going to be Chromebooks. Now what? Quiz. Then I want to tell my class, hey, take this quiz. Be sure to submit your answers. So there's the quiz from my drive. I'm going to assign it to you. And there it is. So now you could go in there and click on the quiz. I'm going to ask you to put your nickname if you don't want to put your real name, okay?
Did you do an attachment?
Yes, okay.
With
So,
your drive?
are you in your own classroom? I went there. I already had created that. So you don't have one created yet. But I am going to show you how to do that, okay? When you get to this, match the definitions, you have to kind of move your arrows back and forth to see all of the definitions, okay? And I don't know why column 6 is there, it's just the way I made a mistake on the creation. Yes?
How do you get to the quiz again?
You should be able to click right on it. You have to refresh. But where's that?
It's the little circle with the arrows.
Oh, yeah, that little. There we go. Another stream. Yeah, that should be the first stream.
That last column say?
This one,
Very last.
it says 6.
There.
Yeah, you just highlight these words and click your arrows left and right. That's something you're going to teach your students Unfortunately, when you, I'm going to show you that in just a minute, when you put in match your definitions on the form, they have to scroll over like that.
How do you want to do it? It'll move it. If you just click it, it'll come up.
Yeah.
There's a your answer. Yeah, down bottom says your answer.
It's probably the way that I created it.
Okay.
Yeah, this should be there. I need to edit this. But I'm not going to edit it right now. I just want you to get the idea of what the Google form looks like. So Google Forms, while you're completing this, can be used as a quiz, as a test, and there are different types of questions you can use, which is why I went into my Google Drive, so I'm going to show you this. So when you're creating it, it kind of looks like this.
And this is which one? Google
This is Google Form.
Forms.
So I went ahead and I made the true or false a multiple choice answer. You can do A, B, C, and D for that. This one, particular one, I chose the drop down box. And of course this is match the definitions. So I can get rid of this. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm changing it, well I shouldn't. To do this, there's a little sign up here, it's a plus sign, and that's how I add my question. When I get to my question, I can decide whether I want to require a response or not. You definitely always want to make it a required field for the name, okay? Am I going too fast?
I'm clicking submit on the quiz,
Somehow I made my
and I noticed the bottom says your answer, like I'm supposed to.
That bottom question,
No, that
click
was-
column 6, and it'll let you go on.
Yeah.
The bottom question, click column 6 as your answer.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but then it's
Oh.
Just make an
You can
answer.
type
Don't
that
worry
in.
about it. It's an error on my part.
Oh,
Just
okay.
just put anything in,
Yeah,
okay?
it didn't
Because
include
really the
that.
idea is for you to understand what the students see when they go in.
Okay.
Okay, so once you have submissions, is there anybody still working on that quiz? Good. You are, okay.
I'm trying to get it to submit.
You gotta put some of that line right there.
The bottom
Your
line.
response
This one?
down. Right there.
This
it
one?
says,
Where do I
yeah.
put it?
Just column 6.
Yay.
On that last one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yay.
All right, thank you.
It was obviously something I put in there. Okay, so I have my answers from you, and I'm going to go in.
So when you've submitted something, when the kids have submitted something, is there a way for them to see that that's happened? Like I just, like I clicked submit and it
It
just
says-
kind of scrolled me back up to the top.
So when my kids are working on this, I usually have it up, okay? And I could go in and say, hey, here's everybody that turned it in, but here are 5 that haven't turned it in yet. And I know it sounds kind of demeaning to do that, or I'll walk, depending on what it is, or I'll walk over and say, hey, notice you don't have it in yet. What's going on? Let's see what you're doing. Oh, you're playing on Facebook, or it doesn't allow Facebook, but you're playing on something you shouldn't be.
But
So
there's
you-
nothing in their view that really
Yeah.
confirms that. Like if they're doing it from home.
Well, that's what I see. Oh, for them, for you it says done?
Check mark that
Okay.
says done, yeah.
Okay, so there they all are. Now here's what I want to do as the teacher. I want to go into that quiz, and I'm going to make an answer sheet.
And this
So-
is under forms.
This is in the actual classroom. So I'm going in just like I'm taking it like a student. I call it answers because now I'm going to use this through Flubaroo to check my quiz.
So you added yourself to your classroom?
I don't have to, no.
You don't have
Just
to,
go
okay.
ahead and take it. Okay, so it's a laptop, that's true. When you open your Chromebook, the first thing you will need is... All right, and latching. Okay, so a Google form is, I think, you know what, and here's another issue with doing this match the definitions. I don't care for it, but I wanted to show you that you can do this. When you do it, you have to mix up your definitions, and I get a little, discombobulated, because I'm like, wait a minute, did I put that definition? I really don't care for that one. I like the drop-down box better for definitions, okay? But this is what, okay, so a Google form, create a document just like Microsoft Word. Google Doc. Create a spreadsheet just like Excel. A unique way to allow students to add answers live.
Table.
Google Doc with the table, it's a live form, I should have put live form on it. Make your own test to grade on Google Classroom.
Form.
That is form, sorry, I can't see, because I have glasses and I can't see. And then, of course, a free tool that allows you to grade Blueberry. Okay, so I put my assignments in.
You have to,
Oh, she deleted 6.
Yeah, but it's
you
here.
have to mark a dot on there though, that bottom row.
Yeah, that
or we'll
bottom
let
row you have to
submit.
mark.
Thank you.
Just mark, something.
The last column.
Okay, here we go, thank you.
See, mine didn't do that when I clicked.
Did you fill in a dot in that last empty row?
I wrote a word, was that if you
No,
just.
the last
The
dot.
last
on the-
dot,
Just put it
because
down.
I had something
Ah.
there,
Just fill in anything.
and it wasn't
I
fixed
see
when
what
they
you mean.
took it,
Okay,
okay?
got it, yes, thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, so now I put those answers in. I'm going to go back in. Sorry. I need to go to my drive. Okay. And I'm going to hit responses, and this is what you learn in Blueberry. And I'm not going to go through this till you get this one, because this is something you're really going to have to practice. I haven't done it for a month, and I had to really think about it yesterday and go, wait a minute, how do I tell them this? So this is something you're really going to have to look into and practice on a regular basis. So I want to create the spreadsheet, and here's the deal. Blueberry probably isn't even on this computer, so I'm going to have to add it to this computer. And there's everybody, what you said, and all their little answers, okay? So I'm going to go to add-ons. If you write that down, that's where you're going to find it. I want to enable Blueberry in the sheet. It's saying, yay, you've got it. Cool. Then I go back on to add-ons, go to Blueberry, and it says, grade this assignment. And it's working. And it says, hey, which one do you want to use? Guess which one I'm going to use? Answers. Which? Okay, where is it? There it is. Answers, there we are. Okay. Continue. You're gonna love this. Thank you. There's my answers. That's what I'm putting into my grade book. It does it for me, okay? It's a wonderful tool. The only thing is this. When you're using it and you put in a short answer, so sometimes if I do that, you don't know what they're gonna put in for that, right? So sometimes I'll take that percentage, I'll add the other one and redo a percentage, but at least I get it. So I tend not to put a lot of short answers. I, again, like to leave short answers for a written assessment. So for example, in our new social studies adoption, I will do a Google form for vocab or a drop-down box for some answers. And then I actually copy off that because I think we need to do Google Classroom and we need some written work, right? So don't do everything on here, do both, okay? All right, so you just created that, I created that assignment.
When you went to get your responses, you went to your drive and not to the classroom?
You went to the Google Drive and brought up that assignment, yes,
That assignment.
yes. Because,
So you connected that document to that assignment, so now it automatically collects all those responses?
and when I
Okay.
created that assignment, here,
Right,
if you remember,
right.
I
you
used
added
this
it.
drive, okay? Okay. The next thing we're going to do, a quick assignment. This is the live form, and I'm just going to put live form. I have saved this on my documents already. So I had it like others, and I'm sorry. That's the only thing about this, you have to keep going back and forth and back and forth. And this isn't my computer, so. Okay, so I just uploaded it, I double clicked on it, went right to it, okay? Now I want you to look at this. students can view file, okay? On this assignment, everyone's going to see and manipulate the same one. I made it a live form. However, if I want one to go to each person, you each have your own, so nobody's typing on the same document, we want to say, make a copy for each student. That's a big deal, okay?
Yeah.
Have you made that mistake already?
Yeah.
That's
Everyone was
totally how
trying
you
to
learn.
type something and they're like, hey, it's erasing. And
Yes.
someone's typing over it.
Right, and here's the cool thing about that. You say, everybody stop a minute. You go
Yeah.
back to your computer and you just delete
Delete
it
it,
and you
start.
upload it again and say, okay, refresh, and boom, you got it on the dot, okay? That's the cool thing about this, all right? So now everybody's going to see this, so I'm just assigning it. And I'm not going to put instructions just for lack of time, okay? So go ahead and click on that now. Oh, where are you? Who's lost?
I'm trying to find where I am. I don't know. I went backwards, I went forwards.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
Refresh.
I did refresh twice.
Okay.
How do you?
Is anybody getting this?
No.
Yes.
Somebody got it?
I got it.
Because I just added it, you've been sitting on the classroom, it will take a minute to bring it up. So refresh again. So somebody go ahead. So if you're not familiar with this, automatically you can see who's starting to pull up on here, okay? You're somewhere up there if you're on this page.
It still says
Where view only.
Yeah.
So we are
You can't type anything.
Okay.
I can't even.
Nope. Okay, so great. Watch what I do. Let's get rid of this.
Delete it.
This is great. Up here,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just going to delete it. I don't know if I could edit it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to create a new assignment. We're going to call it Do It Again. Going to go to my drive. It's because this should probably be students can edit. And you're going to have to refresh once it comes up. Is it coming up?
Yes.
Yes.
Just takes a minute. Refresh it again if not. There we go. Look what's happening.
What was that password?
Sorry, Christy.
So it's, let me go back.
And this becomes mayhem, okay?
I don't know.
It
No, look, I'm
can't.
in the wrong place. Arrow back. That's what I was. I was in the wrong place.
So if you see someone on yours,
Yeah, browser.
In the browser.
Hit the
Yeah.
refresh button.
oh, I see.
No, I was in the wrong place too. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Okay.
Christina,
Sorry.
deleting me.
Somebody's deleting me.
Can't find it.
Okay, it is.
It's going way
Oh,
slow.
I am not.
I saw it down in an empty box. Nobody else is
Oh, you know what, it doesn't say on the skin. I'll have to ask her to look at it.
What's your
Maybe
password?
That's okay. You know what? And that brings up a great. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That brings up a great point. In my classroom, I list all the classroom codes, and I just take, in a document, I print them out, and I keep them stored on my documents, and I put them up in the room, so if a student's working quietly, oh, I'd never joined that classroom, they can go right up there, or a new student comes in, and this teacher helper takes them over and says, oh, you have to join this classroom, here's the code, let's get you on. So the codes are always visible to everybody coming in the classroom.
It's like hit tab.
Okay. Okay, now, this is mayhem, but I just want to show you what you can do with this. They actually get it really well, and they know how to go to a different one, okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. All right, guys, here we go. Ready?
You gotta double finger click and insert a row below.
This volume thing. Sorry.
You're graduating classroom? Yeah, click on, like, here's my classroom right here.
I'm going to go back because this is going to show you how to create your own classroom, okay? Now wait till everybody's ready, okay? You ready? Anybody need some time? Okay, this is going to be the crash course and then we're going to slow it down, okay? So you joined a class, now you're just going to create a class. Follow what you want. Okay, so you can go in and you can actually add the students yourself. A big waste of time. I would go in and do it the way I showed you with the code, all right? This can be a little crazy. They go and they are able to log on to this, of course, with their learning.com information, okay? Okay, we just went through this. I showed you a little bit about how to do this. I'm going to show you one more thing before you create your own classroom. We're going to have you created and you're going to upload a YouTube video. Any type of project or any type of paper you want them to type, remember it's students, each student gets a copy, okay?
Works good for everything.
What's that?
Like publishing.
Yes. Google Forms, you don't need to do that. It automatically gives everybody one. And everything else, you need to say, hey, one per student. So now you can go in, you can check out what that kid did. There it is, now I'm going to grade it. Return it to them, they know what grade they received. And you can leave some nice notes, or not so nice notes.
There isn't any way for them to know what they got wrong.
Okay, so that's what I'd like to show you, and I'm going to go to my word study to show you that. Word study, there it is. So when they do an assignment, this is a good one, that's not a good one. That was the end of the year, things got a little runny there, so let's go. This is the way it looks when they turn in something, and when I went ahead and graded it, I went ahead and I didn't return it here, I recorded it online. At the beginning of the year, I did talk with parents throughout the school year about how sometimes they'd be doing assignments on their Google Drive, and I talked to parents a lot about, hey, if you've got the internet at home, get on this Google Classroom with your students and see what it's about. So a few times I would say, do this assignment at home, so parents knew how, what was going on, how it was being, entered. So what you can do is, you can click on the student's assignment. She's from Jerusalem, and she's just learning English. So she had a little hard time learning how to. And for some reason, I didn't teach her this. She did it on her own. She always did the word and then a colon and then wrote like that. I was like, okay, whatever, that's great, right? So if I wanted to make a comment, sometimes there would be students that just wrote nothing, no punctuation, just ooh, I'll get it done so I can go to the I'm done now classroom. So I would write a little comment, hey, it looks like you didn't really try on this. Here's this, I'm returning it to you. So if I did that, hey. Right again, but we write much more than that, obviously. And sometimes I would say, are you paying special attention to closing marks? Are you reading your sentence again to make sure there's subject verb agreement? So what I would do there is I would go to her, click this, and I'd return it to her. You could also grade it and return it to them so they immediately receive the grade. Okay? Okay, so let's go to our classroom. I'm going to upload a YouTube video, and then I'm going to allow you to create your classroom and create some type of assignment, announcements, music, whatever you'd like before you leave today, okay? So when I'm going to create a YouTube video, we're just going to put something easy in it. Oh, look, there's one. I like it. Oh, I watched the whole thing and watched the whole
Yes.
thing. I was trying to, during St. Patrick's Day, nothing was appropriate for St. Patrick's Day, or nothing about Ireland was appropriate, so watch the whole thing. If it is not watchable by Hammond, there's a little, there'll be a little icon here that says, hey, to approve this video, you have to say yes or students won't be able to see it. I'm noticing more and more a lot of the videos I'm looking at, everybody else is looking at too, and they're already watchable by Hammond. So if that check mark is there and you're cool, someone has approved it, and they have went ahead and made the check. Watch it anyway, okay? So, yay, I like this one. I'm going to copy this, go to my classroom, create my assignment, call it whatever I want, give them some information of what you want them to do after it. Anytime I put a video on there, it wasn't just, hey, watch a video and have a great day. I try to do something with it right. Don't just, some type of exit slip, or hey, write a paragraph or a sentence or something with it. Just don't throw videos up there. That's not what it's about. This little link right here. You press that, right click here, paste it, add it, and there's my link. I'm going to assign it. It's easier than you thought, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And there it is. Not there. Hold on. I heard the boom, so there it is. Okay? Alrighty, you ready? Let's create a classroom. Oh, you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. Okay.
Where am I supposed to be?
Obviously, if you want to work ahead, go right ahead.
This.
So you're going to hit this plus mark first.
Wait, go back.
Do you see this? Go back to the next one.
There's no say Chromebooks, it's a square.
Just the tab.
Right, or you can go into that upper left-hand corner and go
Oh,
back
yeah.
to Google Classroom as well, okay? Once you learn how to use this guy over here, this is going to be your best friend right over here. It's going to bring everything down over here, okay? So to create a class, we're going to click on this plus next to your email.
Okay, thank you.
It's either going to say join or create, and you're going to create.
Oh, all I have is.
Sure. Delete it.
No, if there was stuff that you wanted from that class to bring it over.
Okay, why can't I create?
I've never done that yet, so.
I
Hey,
haven't-
congratulations, you have a class.
It's there, that's about it. I
Okay.
haven't done much with it.
All right, so when you create a class, obviously we're going to name it. And you're my first class today, so this is going to be my sample. And I'm going to create.
She can't.
In your
I can only join, I can't create.
This section where you put your subjects.
You can do that.
Under me, I'm out.
Yeah, so there's your subjects. She put her name and then the subject. Right.
And I can
So-
still only join.
Do what you want here. If you're departmentalized, I would put period 1, period 2, period 3. If you're not, you could do it my way. Some elementary school teachers want one Google Classroom for every subject. I'm sorry, that's a little too nutty for me, so I separated it. Or just call this e-learning class my sample, so that you know, hey, this is what I did at the workshop. I could go back into it. So are you okay with me creating now? Yes.
I don't know who to create, it just says join.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back into that little icon up here, the bookmark. Let's get you back in and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Was it for her? I thought it was there when I was up there.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, these Chromebooks.
It went to join again.
And you can select music.
Okay, I think it's something I need to do over here. I need to add an account.
Please feel free to pause this video at any time. Start to begin.
And I'm not IT, so I'm gonna help you. But you know what? I would.
Is this something I can't do?
I never done it. Okay, I'm gonna create this classroom.
Thank you.
Who's never created a classroom before in Google Classroom? This is your very first time.
As satisfying
Yay,
as it
you.
might be to piece together a high-end computer.
All right, there's my sample. Now, look over here. Selecting, upload a photo. This is where you can change it up, make it fun, do whatever you want over there. Okay, I'm a gym teacher. I'm going to choose that. Any kind of thing you want. Oh, that's gross. Save a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meant to do.
Yes.
Don't put video up, you log in through,
So you have to first create a form on your drive.
Well, I was in it earlier, but
Yeah.
it's.
You need to exit out of that and go to your drive first and create
I
a
have
form
to
you
do what I
want.
did to my email.
She brought up a great question. She's got her classroom ready to go. She said, hey, list 5 things from this video. And you have to first create a Google Doc to be able to upload to your assignment, okay?
Yes, see, here I am.
Okay.
We're here. We're running out of time. And I can hit my classroom.
Are we good?
And I'm
No, she
here.
still can't add classroom.
Her and the one back there, I want to take your Chromebook to somebody and see what's wrong with that.
That's kind of weird.
No, not
She's
this.
only allowed to join.
Hers is the same. We went through, started over. Same thing. This is your school.
Same thing as hers. It's the same thing as hers. Yeah. We'll check with an IT guy and I'll try and get some room. Okay. All right. So, you can either upload to YouTube, okay? But if you want to upload an assignment, you must first have something on your drive to upload. Okay? So first you create something, whatever it may be. I'll go to use a doc. I'm just going to call it 5 things. List 5 things you learned for lack of time, right? Okay? And I'm going to just, obviously we know that saves automatically, right? There it is, 5 things. I put this in my e-learning just so I have something to do. I'm going to go to my sample classroom, create my assignment, call it 5 things. I'm going to my drive icon. I saved that in my drive, of course there it was right there, under e-learning. Double click on it or add, whatever you want to do. There it is. Anybody have any questions about that?
So I have to be in my classroom first, right?
Well, you have to have something saved.
I just saved it.
Okay. Create an assignment.
Okay. And then I go to my drive again.
Did you get that little drive icon?
Yes.
Okay, you're good. Did you do it?
I want to know if I did that.
Find a video.
I found it.
It's this link here. See, when you find a video, you right click and copy. You got that video copy? You got a mouse.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then go to create an assignment. Go to this link right here. Paste it.
Question, when you create assignments and you grade them, have you ever gone actually into the document and like made notes or highlighted things that were wrong or?
You can highlight them and return them to them, yes, because it is a document. Right. You can't do that. I don't do very often. I like to do comments and say, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? Or hey, come up here and see me during Chromebook time, and then here's somebody will come up with a Chromebook.
Right, yeah. Okay.
You have to copy that link. That's something it's hard to learn with, yeah. Okay, do it one more time, let me show you a little trick. Okay.
I got copy first.
Where's my sound?
At the top.
There it is. Okay, I'm sorry, copy. Got a copy, then go back to your class. Any other questions I could help with?
How do you,
You're gonna go find somebody and find out why it's doing that?
can I, ask you about, I need you to name, like, I went to name a Chromebook, and then, I renamed it, I want to rename mine, and I can't figure out how to do that.
Rename the actual Chromebook?
Yeah, or the actual classroom.
Okay, so you go, yep, go back to that main page where all your classrooms are listed. There you go, where's your classroom?
This one I want to,
So just click right here.
okay.
There's a three little dots,
Okay.
it'll say rename.
Gotcha. And if you wanted to delete a classroom?
If you want to delete a classroom, there should be another option here.
These are my old ones.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing, and that's probably something I still need to figure out. Delete a whole classroom?
I want to delete my, one of my works from last year.
Delete your classroom.
Okay.
I'll try it.
Oh, yours is done too.
Here's my.
Oh, there it is, screen press.
Oh, no.
When you create a classroom, when you bring that classroom up, the code automatically is there, okay? You just have to create it.
Oh, maybe it's this.
And I have that to delete all my accounts.
Okay.
Delete a class.
Oh, wait, no, that's just deleting that activity, that day.
So you just go
I just did
here,
it.
unroll, and then in, and then create it.
So when you create this, I wonder what archive does. I will find that out for you.
So what happens if you archive it?
I don't know, that's what we're just saying.
The form.
Okay, I hope this was useful. I hope you don't forget too much. Please know this, you can reach me on email. My last name is Wright, Marlisa Wright. Yes. If you want the lesson plan template, okay, I'll just start passing it around. Yeah, I can just share it with you.
You just
on
add
Instagram.
everything that you have for here. The classroom.
Yeah.
That would be quicker.
Hey, look at
Yes.
that.
Oh,
Archive it and then
okay.
on the class card, click plus and select-delete.
Are you gonna put it on the
All right, your second, she's gonna.
delete it from the archive? Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get these mails.
All right. This is one that's of course been used, but you can manipulate it then and make it your own. There you go. You got it. If you're in the classroom, you've got it, okay? I'm going to write down those few questions, like whatever happened to these 3 ladies' computers for not being able to join a class. I'm also going to figure out how to delete a classroom, which is something I need to do.
You archive it and then you delete it.
You do archive it. Okay, archive and delete.
Archive it.
Thank you so much. I hope that helped. Please know if you need me in the mornings to come over for a PD, I'm very open for that for you and your staff with a small collaboration, okay? Have a great lunch. I hope it was helpful.
12:30.